In the Gale Academy of Environmental Science and Technology, the Everglades system is one of the cornerstones of our 4-year curriculum. In January of 2018, a group of our seniors took what they've learned into the wilds of 10,000 Islands. Our journey begins in the Gulf Coast Visitors Center in Everglades National Park. From there, we'll cross Chokoloskee Bay and enter the maze of mangrove channels that make up 10,000 Islands. How do you pack for the unknown? The Outward Bound instructors worked with each individual student to make sure they had the essentials for the trip. Once that was taken care of, it was time to get introduced to all the equipment, including the canoes that would be our home base for the next 4 days. Next up was a lesson in navigation. Being able to use charts and a compass to navigate through the islands are essential skill sets for a successful course. However, the weather had some other plans, and we had to get on our rain gear a little early. But before we knew it, we were at the beach ready to load up the canoes and launch out into the water. As the sun sank low on the horizon, we arrived at this sheltered cove of mangroves that would become our home for the night. The instructors gave the students the directions on how to turn our canoes into a floating camping platform. Then they were on their own to sort out the logistics all by themselves. This process took teamwork and communication. They had to work together to get all of the gear out of each canoe in order to remove the boards, and continue to move both gear and people until the platform was built. The whole process took about an hour and a half, floating around on the water in the dark. After a well-deserved macaroni and cheese dinner, it was time to go to bed under the stars. After a spectacular morning, it was time to make some breakfast and get ready for the day. But not before checking out what's going on under the boats. Crabs aside, our goal for the day was to get to Tiger Island. This was going to be the first test for the students' newly acquired navigation skills. It was going to be a long day of paddling that was going to end well into the night. As the night took hold, we found ourselves navigating in the dark. This really brought the team together as they had to focus on the charts to navigate. But the reward was paddling under a sky full of stars. At about 2 a.m., the canoes pulled up to Tiger Island on the Gulf of Mexico. A cold front had come through, so the temperatures were really dropping, and the wind was making it hard to set up all the tents. Working together, everything got set up in time to have an early morning dinner before heading off to bed. It was another beautiful morning, but the wind was still strong. It was a leisurely morning, slowly taking down the tents and having a nice hot breakfast. This gave everyone the chance to really soak in their surroundings and reflect on the experience they were having.
So, the second day, I had kind of mixed emotions about this. I cried a lot because it was really cold and windy, and I break down when it's really cold. But then after I sat down in the tent and I kind of thought about it, it was really amazing how when you get from one area to another, how the climate can just change like in a second. I kind of took in the stars, which were totally visible in the sky. Right when we laid on the boards and stuff, you could just look up and they were so bright. They looked like actual lights shining towards you.
So when we boarded up for the night on the canoes, we had to take the canoes apart and then we had to unpack everything into these canoes while standing on them in the water in the dark. And it's, sometimes you're sitting there and it's I can't believe I'm actually here.
This is day 3, so after 3 days, I've been interacting very well with my friends because I'm able to communicate with them and do solve problems together.
So my view on nature preserves initially was just somewhere where there isn't very much human interaction, and that's pretty much what I expected, and it's really what I got. Usually when I go to a nature preserve, it's near a highway or a road. Out here, there's absolutely nothing except for birds, the waves, the trees rustling, and the stars above you. It's really just, it's amazing being out here and not hearing any sort of civilization.
What we did was we've thrown away all our waste into one trash bag. We've used the same bowls, plastic bowls that we've cleaned so as to not produce more waste. We've been going to the bathroom in a bucket.
The effect of technology basically blinds us in how we deal and what will happen when that technology that we so often use is taken away, and how it'll affect our viewpoint on everything around us. I've had to actually really pay attention about everything going around me. I've had to experience really, and in the awkward spaces in between talking, you can't just pull out your phone and do something. You have to actually feel in the space.
Normally, it's the physical exertion that you can walk away from. I would normally get sore and I would just stop. I would take a long break. I wouldn't even think to go this far if it weren't for this expedition. And so far, I'm really grateful that I've come here, and I'm really grateful that I've come this far.
Now that everybody had rested up, it was time for the final challenge. The instructors were going to take a back seat, applying their knowledge of tides, winds, currents, and of course their skills using a compass and charts. The students were responsible for taking us all the way home, which means if they didn't navigate correctly, we could be in for a really long night. Once again, we found ourselves paddling under the stars late into the night. The navigation was on point all night, and we arrived at base camp around 12:30 a.m. Feeling accomplished but tired, everybody worked together to get those tents up. Then it was time to get some shut-eye. The morning came with lots of cleanup and of course goodbye to our new Outward Bound friends. It was an incredible journey with an amazing group of students,